Okay, we're going to program the PathFinder. I have my iPhone and the PathFinder, and the rod and the sample are on the ground. So I'm going to put the PathFinder in program mode, and I'm going to turn it on. And when I turn it on, the iPhone will connect to it, and I have it in console mode so I can see what's coming out to PathFinder. Once a PathFinder sends the information, like it just did, it tells me what's in it already. But I'm going to go ahead and program it anyway. So I'm going to go down and send in T value. I'm going to go back and make sure it's there, which it is. And now it tells me I can program the element. So I'm going to go back to console, and I'm going to select 107 silver. Go back and check it. And I see that it did program. Let me double check it with the number that I have logged in, and it matches. So at this point, I'm ready to hunt. So I'm going to switch it over from program to IC, and I have it in IC mode, and I have it in let's see, yeah, IC. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how it's used on the ground method first. Now I don't have any load in here at all. They're sitting on the ground down there. And I'm going to extend my antenna, and I like to push it back in from the front a number of sections. It's just, I like that little added weight at the end. So now I'm going to walk around it and see if I can pick up a line. My EWC weight cancel is at 0. So I'm in IC mode, EWC 0, and I'm getting a closure. I back up, I go forward to my rod is just parallel to my chest, and I want to make sure I'm exactly in line from my shoulder to the unit. Once I'm satisfied it's parallel, then I look the other way and get my line. So now I'm going to walk outside the line, walk down until I get a closure, and that's going to tell me that I'm even with it. Now the reason I'm doing this is I know there's no ring around it right now, and I'll explain that and show you that later. So I'm basically even with it right now. So you see that dark spot? That's where my target's at. And I get a good closure over my target. That's about 70 ounces of silver. So I come back. Now this is a different method. I hold it into my chest. I don't move. I don't tilt my hands or anything. And I let it lock. And just to make sure, I'll twist my body. I'll go left to right and make sure my rod stays in that point. And it does, so that's a good indication. So we're going to go to the second method, which is actually the follow rod using the generator. So I'm going to put the generator on, that has two bearings, bearing rod, so on a windy day you need to be careful. Weight cancels at 0. I'm in IC mode, and I'm in search mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just like I did before, stay still and wait for it to lock on something. And then I'll twist my body again like I did before, make sure it's locked. Once I get a direction by looking past, I'll start walking that direction until I get a closure. And once I get a closure, right here, I'll walk out and then I'll go ahead and check it. Go back again, do the same thing. If it was behind me, my rod would swing around, keep going on around, and point to the right or stay to my left. So I know the target's in that area. Now I'm going to switch to TV for a second. TV moves the signal 45 degrees to the right on a good target, and I'm going to go back to IC, and also it'll go to the left if it's a bad target. I'm going to explain that later on after I'm finished showing you this, because what it does, it'll come back and it'll stay if it's a good target. So I'm locked on good there. And there's my target. No ring. So now I'm going to turn the unit off. And you want to make sure you hold the top of your rod in your controller and twist the handle off. That's the safest way to remove it. That's off. I'm going to set it on the ground. I'm going to take my silver load, place it inside. This is the third method of using this system. Just using the silver load or the gold load, or both of them if you want. And since it's also a follow rod system, I want to stay still until I get a hit. Now these loads are a little stronger, so I'll probably have a small ring around it. This is what's known as an enhanced load. So I'm going to walk out and show you this ring. It's probably not going to be very big, but we're going to check it out anyway. Let's see if I get a closure before I reach it. And I do. It's about 3 foot radius, so it's a 6 foot ring around my target area. So let's see, let me go back. Okay, so we are going to set up. I'm going to show you what happens with TV, Target Verify. Just to give you an idea, Target Verify saves you some searching if you helps you determine if the target's good enough to go after. So let's find our line first. We're going to find our line. It's right here. And I'm going to mark it with something. Use a stick right there. And here's our line. Need to back up, check it, back up, make sure. So our line's there. So now we're going to switch to TV, and our line is going to shift approximately 45 degrees to the right. So let's go here. There's our line. It's not even near the stick. You can see the stick right there. So what happens is, if this line goes right, that's possibly a good target. Now, what I mean by right is when you're standing behind the generator looking towards your target. It'll eventually come back to the line and stay there. You need to let it sit there for a good 15-20 minutes. If it doesn't move any more left of that line, it's a good enough target to go after it. If it moves left at all of that line and disappears, it's bad. On the other hand, if the target moves left, it's a bad target, and if it disappears, it's bad completely. But if it works itself back to the center line and stays there, then it's a mineral ore, like silver ore, gold ore, whatever you have the element set for. And that is how TV works. Hope that helps you in your hunting. Okay, so now we're going to go to IC, electronic weight cancel, EWC is at 0, and I have my silver load in the handle to enhance it. So we should get a bigger ring. I want to show you what weight cancel does. So watch my rod as I approach. It's starting to close before the stick. You see that? That tells me there's a ring around that, a good size ring actually, around that target. And if I keep going, it'll start opening up. I have that load in there. So let me walk out to it and see how big of a ring we have actually. Last time it was about 3 foot from the spot. Let's see what this is. I'm getting a radius already right here. It's a lot bigger. A lot bigger. And that's because of that load. That's why I tell people don't use a loaded rod. It can cause you problems. So anyway, this spot right here where I'm standing, I'm going to place that stick so I can show you this electronic weight cancel is a linear adjustment. Let me get my ring. Okay, now most people would think that's where the target's at. That's not where the target's at. You just hit a ring. It's all the way around. It's a good size ring. So let me go back. I'm going to increase weight cancel. Let's go up to 100, which is a factor of 1 at 100%. So let's walk out and see if it moved at all. Weight cancel is designed to collapse the ring around the target area. Basically, it gets you closer to the target. Nobody else is using this type of technology that I know of. I haven't seen anything out there like it. So you can see it move that much, about 2 foot. So we're going to go up again. We're going to go to 150 and see what that does. At 70 ounces of silver, I believe it goes out around 175, close to 200. So let's see where we are at now. Oh yeah, it's moved another 2 foot or so. So let's go back. I'm going to bump it up to 200 and see where it's at. And let's find our ring now. And you have to be careful with electronic weight cancel because you can cancel your target out. If you cancel the target out, it's like the unit is off. You just basically got a rod in your hand and it's going to close on anything that it comes across. So I'm not picking anything up. So at 200, it's gone. So let me drop it down to 175 and see if my line comes back in and my target. And the whole idea is to shrink that ring around the target area. So if you increase in weight cancel and your line goes away, back it up a little till you get, see, I'm right over the target now. But it's a little slow. If you notice how slow it is, it's not a fast reaction because the power hasn't changed, but the condition of the weight factor has. So let's see if I pick a line up and watch how my rod acts. It's real slow closing. It's really, see how it's closing? Before it would slam close or get closer to my body and I had to back up and go forward. It's real precise now. So at 200, I just put it back up to 200. At 200, it cancels the target out completely. There's just one little bump. You see that right there? The rod's going to open. There's just one bump right there. And that's how you use electronic weight cancel. It collapses that ring that forms around the unit. If the number of things can happen, if it has more than one element than what you have the frequency set for, it will cause a ring.